Robert, we understand that there's been a surge in viewership on YouTube. How are you staying ahead of all of the misinformation about coronavirus and also about treatments for it when it seems like the misinformation just does not stop?
So first of all, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. Let me just step back for 1 second and tell you what's going on YouTube across the board. Our engagement is up across the board. People are coming to YouTube for two reasons. One, to find helpful information, and two, to connect with one another. And when you think about people finding helpful information, think about information from health organizations such as the CDC, NHS, et cetera, and all of their equivalents around the world, and to have their children learn on YouTube through the destinations that we've built. And when people want to connect with one another, it's merely to impact their well-being and to get entertained. And I think there's no greater example of that than the Concert for Hope that Andrea Bocelli did yesterday on YouTube from the Duomo Palace in Milan to the tune of 26 million views, which is just incredible. So we are seeing this engagement across the board, and it's just incredible.
Now, I've certainly seen an increase in educational videos being watched in my house as my kids are home from school. But give me a sense of this issue of misinformation, because of course it's important to promote the accurate information, but there's also this nonstop flow of false information that is being posted on YouTube. What are you doing to get ahead of that, both with people and also with algorithms?
Yeah, so it's an issue that has been important to us for many years, and we've invested in resources and products and people over the last few years, and our investments are paying off. We've developed a framework called 4Rs, which is remove violative content, reduce content that is not violative but it's borderline, raise authoritative content, and reward content that is great for our platform. And we've invested in our resources along those lines. So we've had quite a lot of success removing and reducing thousands of videos specifically referencing coronavirus that violated these policies or bumped up near them. So our framework is working.
Now, I know you're in a quiet period, but I do want to ask sort of broadly about advertising trends. Facebook warned that its advertising has been really adversely impacted by coronavirus. You're seeing an increase in viewership, but is advertising increasing along with that? And what does that mean for both your creators who generate revenue from YouTube as well as for YouTube itself?
Yeah, so for us, we always are mindful of the fact that our ecosystem consists of three parts, which is viewers, creators, and advertisers. And we want to make sure that those three are in harmony. And our first and foremost effort goes towards making our users safe through the activities that you and I just discussed. And two, that we help creators drive revenue and build their businesses on YouTube and reach their audiences. They're reaching their audiences. And we are making efforts such as the $340 million ads grant that we've made as part of our $800 million COVID relief package. And the ads grant is specifically obviously driving adoption of ads and making sure that our creators continue to earn a living on YouTube.
Robert, this is Morgan. I just want to go back to the steps you're taking and the moves you're making to basically crack down and police misinformation where coronavirus is concerned on the site right now. What have you learned from that process? And I guess how has it helped shape or change, if at all, your methodology for how you're assessing misinformation and what stays and what needs to be taken down on, I guess, a more general or more broad level?
Yeah, so for us, it's actually the opposite, that we are applying everything that we've learned over the last few years and through the tremendous investments that we made to COVID. So, for instance, we have authoritative sources of information, CDC, World Health Organization, NHS, and equivalents in 40 countries around the world who were driving traffic to their websites from our homepage. It's a tremendous localization effort. We've triggered a COVID news shelf, which is really based on our breaking news shelf, which we've had for quite a while on YouTube. And in that one, we're triggering information from authoritative sources, authoritative news sources, and that is localized in 30 countries around the world. So we're making sure that we're not only doing things in English, but that we're reaching as many people as possible in the local way. To us, that's very, very important because everybody's experiencing COVID in their locality. And we've also been triggering info boxes, and which again drive towards the authoritative sources of information on COVID. And we've had 10 billion impressions from these info boxes. So it's an incredible reach that we're providing for these organizations. But all of that is built on the hard work that we've done over the last few years.